Dear fellow Singaporeans, my name is Abbas bin Kasmani, and if you are your 50s or older, you might remember the 70s, 80s and early 90s. Those were the good old days when our salaries would increase every year and the cost of living was manageable for the average citizens. In the 70s and 80s, the cost of an HDB flat was very affordable. Life was good back then, and we had hopes for a better future. But all this changed after the 1998 financial crisis. The economy took a turn for the worse, and our salaries were frozen. To add to our woe, the cost of living kept on rising. Do you remember this? But then we tightened our belts, made some sacrifices, and we shouldered on to rebuild our nation together. Sadly, some lost their jobs and accepted much lower paying jobs. Some took a salary cut, and most of us accepted that we were not getting any increment. We did it all for the sake of our beloved country, a country that we love and spent 2 years of our lives serving national service. We had trust that things will get better for us. Indeed, things were slowly starting to pick up again. When we crossed into the new millennium, but something shocking happened. Along came the CECA Agreement, Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement between India and Singapore. This agreement, with its lax approach to the employment of foreigners in Singapore, has become points of grievance and contentions for many affected Singaporeans. PMETs couldn't believe that the government we trusted could allow for such an agreement with an influx of foreign talents that will cost many Singaporeans their jobs and livelihoods, and in numbers so large that they crowd our space in society. Singaporeans PMETs are at the losing end of this CECA agreement, especially those in their 40s and 50s with young or teenage schooling children, a mortgage to finance, and an old age to save up for. The time has come for change and to put Singaporeans first. Singapore is our country. If the incumbent wants to invite hundreds of thousands of foreigners to take our PMETs jobs, that it should first have adequate compassion for the citizen being displaced. Many Singaporeans PMETs that we spoke feel betrayed by this policy. This is unacceptable. There are way too many work permit holders and foreign PMETs in Singapore now. Is there really a need for this? Or is it because of an obsession to push up GDP, growth all the cost, that they, the government, have taken the easy way out by bringing in low-cost labor? My friend, we cannot allow this to continue. This over-reliance on foreign manpower also has very serious long-term consequences. If the government allow even junior and mid-level foreign PMETs to steal our lunches, how can our young graduates secure good entry-level executive positions? Then they cannot grow, learn, and develop into mid-level managers. And further down the road, they cannot develop to take senior level management positions. Do we want to be forever be dependent on foreign manpower? There is an urgent need to ensure job priority for the Singaporeans, and SICA has brought a lot of insecurity and unhappiness. It must always be Singaporean first. The COVID-19 pandemic has revealed the many flaws of government due to their slow and poor decision making in handling the crisis. Let's talk about bread and butter issues. Cost of living, from utilities to transport fare, from HDB flats prices to healthcare services, has shot through the roof. Prices of everything have gone up, and yet our income has not been rising fast enough to meet the ever-rising costs, which adds on to our hardships. Singapore claimed to be the first world country, but then a good number of Singaporeans live like a third world citizens. We were told no one will be left behind, but sadly, today we have elderly folks in their 70s and 80s collecting cardboards and tin cans, cleaning tables at hawker centers to survive, or worse, many are homeless. Where is the compassion? Singaporeans deserve a decent, sustainable social security for our old age, and no one must be left behind. You deserve better. I say this again. You deserve better. The government is now obsessed with creating wealth not for the people, but is it for itself? My friends, this is serious. If we give the current incumbent a party a strong mandate, history has shown us the last half century that they will do whatever they want without consulting citizens. They will bulldoze policies in Parliament, putting their own agendas, interests above that of us Singaporeans. We need change. Change can only happen if you desire change. Singapore today operates very much like a company, whereby it is all about profit making. In the most recent tariff hike, they charged us 30% increase in water tariffs and a 3.5% increase in power. As for transport, there has been a multiple numbers of increases the last few years. Does the incumbent party place profits above the people welfare? We need good health care, subsidies and protections, especially as we get older. To enable this, the government should be spending more on healthcare so as not to burden the people with a large share of the costs. For a start, the government should consider insuring and absorbing a substantial portions of the health insurance costs. Mistakes in these policies have greatly affected the welfare of Singaporeans. Our current government's paltry efforts on healthcare subsidy is insufficient, and their effort to help Singaporeans seem insincere. What the current government does seems to always be a short-term quick fix instead of sustainable long-term solutions. Give PSP a chance to be your voice for change. When PSP is voted into Parliament, civil and public services will continue. Foreign investors will not leave just because there are more alternative voices in the Parliament. As a matter of fact, as we calibrate our costs to be more attractive, we believe more businesses will be attracted to Singapore's shores. This is PSP's initiatives towards a mature democracy, a more vibrant business, happy and caring society for the citizens of Singapore. Vote for PSP, for democracy, justice, equality, peace, and progress with compassion. For country, for people. Thank you very much.